our Project SOS program about Earth Day. We are a great team. Our friends will inform you about environment, its problems, especially climate change problems, solutions, etc. First, the General Başarı Secondary School starts with a presentation about what's happening on our planet. Let's listen them. Do you know what's happening on our planet? Our planet is heating up. Climate change is happening now. Climate change is happening and is causing problems that are starting to get worse. Rising sea levels, extinction of species, houses and habitats destroyed by flood, loss of land, famine and drought.
Is around 1 degree Celsius warmer than it was 106 years ago. Now that may sound like a lot of actually that warming is having a big effect on the world around us.
Gases are increasing as a result of various behaviors of people. The greenhouse gas in the atmosphere is rising with the use of fossil fuels, the reduction and destruction of forests, and increase in consumption waste, amounts, and energy used from fossil fuels.
Climate change shows its effects: melting glaciers, increasing water levels, droughts of agricultural lands, forest fires, weather events turning into disaster, and living creatures.
Ice sheets and glaciers are melting, sea levels are rising. That change will give harm to both people and animals. Is it too late to save the planet? We don't think so. But our task is extremely urgent and it's something that scientists all agree on.
Thank you, dear friends. That sounds interesting. Now we are listening to Maria's Artec Secondary School team. They will give some information about why is the climate changing.
Why is the climate changing? The world's population exceeding 7.5 billion by 2021 is one of the main causes of global climate change. The heat in the world is kept by the gases that accumulate in the atmosphere. The accumulated gases cause the greenhouse effect, and the greenhouse effect causes climate change.
The burning of fossil fuels, especially coal, is the main responsible for the increase in the rate of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere.
As a result of overheating and extreme cooling, there is a risk of extinction of living beings, which is a cause of this change in nature.
One of the most important reasons for the increased greenhouse gas emissions is agriculture.
Even fossil fuels used only for electricity, heat and transport accelerate climate change. As a result, as human beings or footprints that we leave behind us is every action we take without thinking, and that return with negative effects in nature cause global warming, climate change.
A great introduction. Thank you. Now we are listening to Spanish friends from Puebla de Sierra. They will give some information about what happens when the climate change.
There will be lots of results such as the extinction of animals and plants, the melting of the poles, and the rise in temperatures.
It will affect to all the countries, the ice melts, the sea level increases, and this causes floods.
The temperature of the earth increases.
60% of the animals and plants will disappear. The world and our way of living also change.
The number of fires worldwide increases a lot.
Polar bears will be homeless.
Our life changes in a bad way little by little.
Poles will melt.
Humans, animals, and everything in the world will disappear.
The sea level will go up.
It affects in the nature.
It changes the animal life.
Hi again. Our project SOS program about Earth Day goes on. Thank you, dear friends, for a nice presentation. Now we are listening to Romanian friends Piscu about how living beings are affected on climate change.
The effects of climate changes are melting glaciers. When the water heats up, it increases its volume. Global warming is also a direct of the disappearance of the polar bears.
Thank you, dear friends, for a nice presentation. What interesting information! Now, let's listen about what is the result of climate change from our friends from Nacil Fazıl Kısagürek Secondary School.
Climate has changed throughout history, and this change has observable effects on the environment. These effects are such as sudden temperature increases and decreases, severe and prolonged droughts, extreme rains and floods, raging storms and hurricanes, endangered species like animals and plants, forest fires and landslides, decrease in biological diversity, melting glaciers, economic crisis, rising sea levels, migrations.
Thank you, dear friends, for a wonderful presentation. What interesting information. Now let's listen about ecological footprint from our friends from Slovakia.
Recycle everything you can. Recycle at home and at your school too. You are doing your very best to save your planet that you love.
Rainwater is naturally designed to water plants, and it can easily be used for your indoor and outdoor gardens. Bye!
Hello, my name is Martina. Let's not use disposable plastic bags. Let's use multi-facet fabric bags. And
hello, my name is Liliana, and let's shop in our rapid stories. We save plastics. Bye bye.
Hi again. Our Project SOS program about Earth Day goes on. We learned a lot. Thank you, dear friends, for a charming presentation. Now we are listening to our Portuguese friends from Olhão.
Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about the wrongs we know are true. For example, the hunt-lawn fishing. Some fishermen do not respect the lawn and fish species in the process of paying instantly or animals with size smaller than allowing, or also they fish more than the law allows. Marine life is not affected by illegal fishing, which, although incorrect, is not the worst problem for marine life. Pollution destroys millions of living beings' homes. Pollution destroys, for example, the dumping of oil, but is not only the beings that live in the water that are affected with cellulose. They also often eat plastic, and the woman being himself, when it eats fish, maybe by hitting a fish that might have already eaten plastic. So please recycle and put the trash in the trash to help you make the world a better place. Thank you.
Hi again. Our Project SOS program about Earth Day goes on. Thank you, dear friends, for a nice presentation. Now we are listening to Turkish friends from Mehmet Azmançoğlu Secondary School about Do you know?
The climate crisis has changed the migration schedules of birds. 70.2 million people have immigrated because of climate change in year.
Climate change increases the risk of forest fires by at least 30%. In 2019, the temperature in Istanbul, the biggest city in Turkey, increased by 3.2 centigrade degree.
Climate change is now an issue of national security for all the world. Climate change threatens the extinction of bumblebee.
Global warming can exceed 1.5 degrees in 5 years. Climate change triggers severe weather events.
Climate change accelerating according to experts. Climate change increases ozone species.
The 1.5 degrees global warming can be exceeded by 2030. Global warming could exceed 1.5 degrees in 5 years.
Amazon friends are alarming. Due to global warming, there were storm, lightning, and fall distress the seas of the Blonde Hill.
Thank you, dear friends, for a wonderful presentation. What interesting information. Now let's listen about steps to project to climate from our friends from Mehmet Azmançoğlu Secondary School.
So, what can we do to protect the climate? First, learn more about climate change.
Choose flax and cloth bag instead of plastic bottles and plastic bag. Evaluate, reuse, change and use it for a different purpose. Don't buy it if you don't need it. Trade or choose second-hand.
Use local markets and choose local products.
Save energy and use water sparingly.
Plant seeds, plant saplings, and protect the green. Count and reduce the amount of waste you throw away in a day. Our goal is zero waste.
Ride a bike. Use public transportation. And the last step, please share this information with everyone.
A great introduction. Thank you. Now we are listening another group of Turkish students of Antalya Başarı Secondary School about climate change words.
Climate change. It is a long-term change in the average weather conditions. How can we understand that? Climate is changing. Land and ocean temperature is increasing. Sea level is rising. Ice is melting. At Earth's poles and on the mountains, and we have extreme weather conditions such as hurricane, heat wave, and floods.
Greenhouse effect. It's a reason for climate change. In greenhouse effect, the heat is trapped on the surface of the earth by greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide.
Ozone layer.
Ozone layer is a thin part of the Earth's atmosphere. This layer absorbs harmful ultraviolet lights of the sun. It is like a shield for life on the Earth.
Ecosystem is a geographic area where plants, animals, and other living and non-living organisms live and work together.
Biodiversity. Biodiversity means different kinds of animals, plants, and microorganisms in the world. We need biodiversity to keep the balance in nature.
Hi again, our Project SOS program about Earth Day goes on. Thank you, dear friends, for a wonderful presentation. Now, we are listening to Italian friends from Pescara about 6 R's.
The 6 R's. When you go shopping, choose products without a lot of packaging and choose seasonal or local produce.
Find new uses for old objects instead of throwing them away. For example, reuse old clothes.
Recycle paper, glass, aluminum, and plastic.
Limit the amount of resources you use. Limit the use of central heating with lower temperatures. Limit the use of cars and use means of transport. Save energy and save water.
Fix or repair objects instead of throwing them away.
Do not buy and use products that are non-sustainable.
Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, dear friends, for a nice presentation. What interesting information. Now let's listen how COVID affects the environment from our German friends.
How does COVID-19 affect the environment in negative or positive sides? First of all, negative. There are large increase of production of test masks. The huge amount of hospital waste like masks and gloves has negative impacts on the environment. A lot of masks are thrown in the streets and in the nature. That's unhygienic and bad for our environment. The huge amount of waste increases the pollution of our oceans and seas.
The positive effects are a reduction of emission through less traffic and fever. Industrial process always has a positive effect on air quality and the amount of greenhouse gas. Less ships are traveling on the ocean. The seas are cleared and people drive less in their car because they stay at home.
A great introduction. Thank you. Now we are listening to a group of Turkish students of Özel Secondary School about what is renewable energy.
Renewable energy, often known as clean energy, comes from natural sources. Although renewable energy is thought as a new energy, nature's power has long been used for heating, transportation, lighting, and more.
Renewable energy is produced from natural sources. Wind power busts the sail the seas and fuels the green grate. The sun provides warmth during the day and helps kindle fires to last into the evening.
Non-renewable sources of energy, known as dirty energy, include fossil fuels, such as oil, gas, and coal. They are only available in limited amounts and harmful for nature, environment, and the world. Renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, geothermal, hydroelectric, biomass energy, oceans are renewable in short time in nature and they are friendly for the world.
Hi again, our Project SOS program about Earth Days goes on. Thank you, dear friends, for a charming presentation. Now we are listening to Georgian friends from Kutsasi about wind energy.
Hello everyone, my name is Annette and this is my project about wind energy. What is wind energy? Well, wind energy is an eco-friendly power source and it is a renewable source of energy. It is non-polluting and it does not need any fuel consumption. Here is an example of wind energy creation, and it shows us how wind turbines allow us to turn power of the wind into energy. Wind power has many different advantages, and here are a couple of them. Firstly, wind power is cost-effective in many regions, and secondly, it helps countries to meet their emission reduction targets and to combat climate change. Here is the world's most powerful offshore wind turbine. It's called Halide X. And here are a list of the countries which are using wind energy. For example, China, United States of America, Germany, and others prefer to use wind energy. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.
A great introduction. Thank you. Now we are listening another group of Italian students of Da Vinci Nicola Middle School about solar energy.
Hi guys, what is the most abundant energy source for you? Sun, wind, or water? Yes, correct. It's the sun. But the question is, why it is so? So, let's find out together. The solar energy is so powerful that in just 1 hour, it could power all of the world's energy needs for 1 year. It's so long. It's not all. The sun has many other functions, but the most important is that it's used to generate energy, which is fundamental to all day-to-day activities. As we said, solar energy is very powerful, so there are appropriate photovoltaic panels that are responsible to convert sunlight directly into electric current. With the electricity, we can do everything. Cooking, watching TV, using the air dry, washing, and more. How would life have been without electricity? Horrible, I know. Thank you, sun. With solar energy, we can have a better future, but it only depends on us. Thanks, guys. Thanks, sun. Don't forget.
Max to the max!
Yay!
Thank you for these great introductions about Earth Day. Thank you for all contribution and cooperation. We are a stellar team. Let's meet another program.